What's up? This is Mr. Second Passport, and right now we're going to see some different options that myself and other people have for making money while abroad. As I just lost my six-figure business, it was a small hotel here in Ecuador, and it doesn't look like it's coming back anytime soon because of this coronavirus. It went from six figures to zero. There's a picture of it there, part of it. So what am I gonna do now? Is the big question. Where am I thinking? What am I gonna do? I've dabbled. If you follow this channel, you'll know I've dabbled in real estate and a few different things, and now I had a small hotel and this and that and the other thing. Um, I've also done online consulting for businesses down here. And my main goal is right now, I can't turn back. Can't turn back. I made a promise to myself when I moved abroad that I was going to make it work no matter what. I moved abroad young, 22 years old, and I said to myself, I'm never going back. Like Hernan Cortez, burn the boat. There's no turning back. I'm gonna find a way, and that hasn't changed at all. I am still gonna keep moving and do what I did. When I first moved abroad, I was an internet marketing consultant for local businesses down here in South America and Asia and a few different places. I helped them with their Facebook and Google ads and stuff like that. And I'll be honest, that's tough. That's tough. It's a tough line of work. Not they These people consume a lot of your time and they want to pay you really peanuts. And it was okay for me when I first moved here, getting some money in my pocket, but right now I'm looking in a different direction. What about teaching English, even like online, like through a website like italki? I've heard good things about it. I haven't used it myself, but I have taught English in jobs in different places like China before. And I'll tell you, it wasn't that bad. I've taught English, and it wasn't that bad. It's one of the first things foreigners fall on. But I'll be honest, I wouldn't mind doing something that kind of inspires my creative side just a little bit more. What about developing software? Well, I've got an interesting story. I did that with some guys in India through while consulting for hotels and different travel businesses in Ecuador. And I worked with them online for several months, and I'll tell you what, it was a pain in the ass developing some software for this website for an Ecuador company. And then, but we made friends though, and when I visited India a few years later, I actually visited them and hung out with them for a few days at their little Shack business that they had, kind of a converted garage into a little software studio. It was great. It was a great experience, but it's not really something I want to get into. What about being a gig worker and look for jobs? Short stuff people need done online, maybe data entry, stuff like that. Writing articles, maybe making logos, designing logos, stuff like that on websites like 5RR and maybe mturk through Amazon, mturk.com. Ah, that's tough. Every day you're hustling just to find the next dollar. It's kind of where I'm at right now, but it's literally for pennies. So I don't know if that's something I really want to do. What about blogging? Eh, I've been there, done that. If you followed me, if you're one of my previous subscribers, I used to blog for several years, and it was fun, and I actually was a pretty decent writer, and the blog kind of stalled. Let's be honest, it kind of stalled, and that's why I decided to stop doing it, and I've kind of focused on YouTube for now. But I gotta say, blogging is not really something I want to do because, boy, it's something that you have to do every day, and you really don't get paid for it. Um, what about what about being a virtual assistant? You can usually find these types of jobs through sites like Upwork. I don't know. I've never done it. It sounds kind of like being someone's bitch. I don't know if that's really something I want to do. I'm sure for some people it wouldn't be that bad, but eh. Now, what about translating texts to English to Spanish, take advantage of my Spanish language proficiency. I also speak a little bit of Portuguese. Maybe I could do that as well, Brazilian Portuguese. What about translating texts online or transcription services through sites like Craigslist and mturk.com? Uh, I researched this. I started looking for gigs and jobs, and I got to tell you, I don't know. It seems like a lot of work and very little pay. What about doing something you can do online, like accounting? Uh, well, I'm not a studied accountant, so that's something I would have to study. So for now, I'm gonna have to throw that out. What about trading stocks? I mean, this sure is fun, and I've dabbled in it in the past, and I am a stock investor. But as far as daily, like trading stocks, it's going down, it's going up, buy, sell, high volume trading, you could call it. Ah, it just seems a lot like gambling to me. That's just me. When I've done it, when I've traded stocks, I have not been very successful. When I've invested in stocks and just held them, bought them on the lows and just kind of held them uh, forever, the Warren Buffett style, that's worked a lot better for me. I don't think trading stocks is something I'm very interested in. Um, but one thing I learned when I was 21, I worked for this small startup company in San Diego, California, and one of the young owners, one of the two owners, came to me and said, "Hey, um, I'm making less now than I made 10 years ago in my early 20s, but that was the price I paid and to start this business, and you just gotta sometimes kill your ego. In my case, maybe I'm gonna go from about six-figure investor, real estate blogger to online translator. I don't know, but you have to kill the ego and just do what you got to do, to fulfill that promise I made to myself. And hey, I've got to find a way to make it without going back to live in the U.S. That's the last thing I want to do. The only way I'm going back is in a box, and I'm going to try to keep to that. Now I have to decide. What's my next step? The main thing you got to do is choose, in my opinion, when you're trying to find a way to make some extra money or make a living, especially abroad. If you want to live abroad, decide what you want to do, and there's pretty much two ways you can go. You can sell a service like translation or consulting, coaching. Or you can sell products, and I've sold both, and I gotta be honest. I want to this time. I want to go the products route because you really can only choose one thing at a time. If you want to be decent at it and try to make money at it, you really can only do one thing at a time. That was important. That's why I said it twice, but very important. And I'm going to go for selling products. It's just plain easier. You sell the product, they receive the product, maybe consume the product, it's gone. And that's it. When you sell services, you're almost on call 24/7, and it sucks sometimes. Now, selling products, here's a few options for myself. I could sell handicrafts on a site like Etsy, maybe Ecuadorian handicrafts, maybe alpaca or something. I could sell photos on a site like that sells stock photos, like iStockPhoto. I could sell courses like on the site udemy.com, or maybe ebooks on a site like Amazon. Now, I have sold ebooks before on Ecuador and different places, and I did pretty good. So this is definitely something that I should consider. When I sold the ebook on the Ecuador real estate market, I sold about one a day at 29.95, and it was about 98% profit after the 2% I paid to PayPal for the payment transaction. So as you can see, it was a downloadable ebook. Now, this is, I sold about one a day for several years of my life. It was a few years. So obviously, that's something I could definitely think about. But for now, what I'm going to do is I am going to attempt to drop ship and sell through the sites of Shopify and Overload. Now, what this is like a fulfillment company where you post the products online, you market them, people buy them, and Overload takes care of the actual shipping. And you even often don't even have to purchase the products and keep inventory. You just sell, and then in the moment of the sale, the product is purchased and then reshipped to your final customers. So this is something that's always obviously interested me, and this is what I'm gonna be talking about on my YouTube channel, how it goes for me. But this is what I plan on doing um, to start, aside from my real estate rentals, and the hotel may or may not survive.